Bezras Hashem Yisborach Yom Chamishi Parshas Beshalach Shnas Tavshin Ayin Vav Yeshiva Tiferes Avigdor. Today's Shvir is sponsored by Schus Menachem Yisroel ben Hana Malya Beila Chana ben Rivka Devoira Bas Rivka Devoira Avram Leiber ben Malya Beila Chana. Yeshua should come for them the Mehera. In our Parshas, we are handling the Nisim of Yitzias Mitzrayim. When Hashem took us out from Mitzrayim, Kriyas Yamsuf, and many people want to know a suggestion, how do we acquire Emunah and Bitochon? It's the question that people ask over and over and over. Now it's amazing. It's the one question that it has so many wonderful answers. The avodah of working and acquiring Emunah and Bitochon is so ensconced in our daily avodah that many people are totally clueless. If a person does the daily avodah, the Chazal incorporated in that avodas Hashem clear, precise steps to acquire Emunah and Bitochon HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Rabbeinu Yoina in Masechta Brachos, Lav Beis and Beis, where it discusses the Gemara Ezeu ben Olam Haba, and he's Mevayer, he explains what is the inner message of relating about, talking about Yitzias Mitzrayim, remembering Yitzias Mitzrayim. And he says like this, in the Gemara in Brachos it says, Navdala and Beis, Ezeu ben Olam Haba. Who is the ben Olam Haba? Zeh hasoymech geula l'tefila. No. So all the Rishonim ask, what is the pshat? What is the great mile of a person who's soymech geula l'tefila? That's number one. Number two, there are very few people who seemingly are not soymech geula l'tefila. Most people are saying everything for tefillah. They say Gul Yisroel, and right away they write into they dive into one place people don't usually procrastinate is by Gul Yisroel and Shmon Esrei. So we should all have a ticket to Olam Haba. That sounds a little bit much. It's a reach. Zot Rabbeinu Yoina, in the name of his Rebbe. And he writes as follows. Listen what he says. Mipnei because shekishemazkir geulas Mitzrayim umispalal miyad. When a person mentions geulas Mitzrayim and he davens immediately, humari. That smichas gulot tefillah has to be a demonstration. It has to be a visible show of what a guy's feeling. Take a moshel. They bring in pizza to a lunchroom. You ever seen them bring in a couple of pies to a lunchroom in yeshiva? Everybody, Pasha, you see, you watch, come out of their chairs, one quicker, one slower, but everybody is like a it looks like almost like a vacuum that pizza sucks everybody in, and it's like a whoosh. What's the pshat? You know why? It's Mara something. You know what they Mara? That their stomachs, their libum, and Daitam are samuch to the pizza. That's what it shows. You're married. So the whole concept and idea of being saimach geula l'tefillah is to demonstrate, his Rebbe said it's the name of his Rebbe, Sheboiteach b'Hashem b'tefillah, that you're boiteach in Hashem in tefillah, shemevakesh mimenu tzrachav, shemi she'enoi boiteach, he says, someone who's not boiteach, lo yevakesh mimenu klum, will ask nothing of Hashem. Try to picture the following thing. Somebody tells you that Rabbi Ayer Leib Steinman should be gesund is in town, and you heard from his gabbai that he has special place in his heart for people from Wiklafai. And he told the Rosh Yeshiva that I feel over here in a magnanimous mood, I feel Pashit Taiv Leiv, and B'linedis, whatever bakasha people are going to ask of me, I'm going to be Mimale bakashasam with all my kisses. I think most people, except for a few tipshim, who would be laggards, and they'll say, I'll eat the pizza. But most people have a little brains, they would come running. One guy for a shidduch, one guy for parnasa, one guy for kids, one guy for atzlach and shalom bayis, atzlach and learning, and so on and so forth. And one guy might come for everything. Give me the whole bowl of wax. If you're really giving, what's on the buffet? Mashali b'chafetz. What do you like? When a person is mazkir Yitzias Mitzrayim, Hashem told us, be mazkir Yitzias Mitzrayim. Remember what I have done for you. So here's a fellow who's davening, and he says, Ezra Savoiseinu Atohu Me'oilu. Hashem, forever, you were Ezra Savoiseinu, you were the savior of our fathers. Mogein U'Moshiach, you were the shield. You brought salvation with Ne'em Achareim, B'chol Dor V'Dor, for all their grandchildren. You're up in the high, Hashem, but you're right down involved in everything. Ad Av Seyorats. Ashrei Ish Sheyish Bal Mitzvah. Fortunate is the man. Emes, you say to Hashem, you're the other, you fight our fights. You're Rishon, you're Achmer. Without you, I have no Melech, Goel, Yeshia. You remind Hashem, you took us out of Mitzrayim, be someone with his son, Kol B'charei Merok, to B'charchel Gold, Amish. Rabbanisa, Goel, Leire, Mashbul, Geir, Magbia, Shrolim, Moitzi, Asirim, Foydam, every matzah, Oizer, Dalin, V'oinel, Ame, Beishamim. That's the whole Yitzias Mitzrayim. And we say, Tilos, Le'en Kelali. Hashem, I have praises for you. Baruch Hu Mevaylov. And then you say, Tzu Yisroel, the Rak of Yisroel. Hashem, one thing is, you're never. You're not wishy-washy. You know, it's amazing. The midah of Nemanis is a midah that blows my mind. I've seen people, friends, who are like this with each other. Like Chat. I've seen sons and fathers who are like Chat. I've seen Rebbeim and the Talmidim who are like Chat. And you thought this was going to last forever. But there was something missing. The midah of Nemanis. They turned out to be the opposite of Nemanah. And one day they said, Tate, I had a cheshbon, I needed you. So I was close to you. But now, I don't need you anymore, so I'm big as it. Tell it to a friend, you know, you're my best friend, I loved you, we grew as mama. I mean, you know what, no, I don't need you anymore. My Rebbe, you say, no, with all due respect, L'taivi Yevakesh Nifrad, I'm busy with, I'm phenomenal over here. God phenomenal my times. And a person can become the Hepech of a Rebbe. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu is called a Rak. He's Tzu Yisroel. Hashem never changes. Kuma, the Ezra Yisroel say to Hashem. Hashem, arise now, right now. Ufidei, redeem us. Chinumecha, like you said. Goyaleinu Hashem tzivokis. Tell the so Hashem is right here. You're not chapping around. You're not seizing the opportunity to daven for anything you want. You gotta be crazy, this mom. You gotta be out of your mind. It's emerson among us. Hashem's an Emma. An Emanata. So Rabbi Yonah says, he is. V'chein nira b'shmoitz rabbi. That's how it seems in Medrash Rabbi. It says over there, when Klal Yisrael saw the Nisim, v'nefloyis, sha'osi moyin habayri, that Hashem did with them. Shaloi ketivai shaloilam, when they saw that, Bitochon, he relied on it. Trusted him. Valzen nemar vayar Yisroel ziyod agdoila asher osa Hashem b'Mitzrayim vayiru ha'omes Hashem vayaminu b'Hashem. So to Rabbi Yonah, so what do we do every single day? Right now, we're mazkir achshav oisa hagula. We mention now that geula shebotchu avoseinu b'Hashem. That Hashem was Bitochon b'Hashem. V'hitzilam, and He saved them. U'mispal miyad. Nimtza, you know what that shows? Shegam hu Bitochon. That he also trusted Hashem. Sheyane oisai, He's going to answer him. K'may sha'onu li Yisroel. You know why? Ba'avur shebotchu. Because they're Bitochon. And that's the reason why you mazkir. Gula Latfila. The Rabbi Yonah says, "V'habitochon hu ikar hayira v'ha'emunah." Bitochon in Hashem is the ikar yira v'ha'emunah. That's the ikar demonstration that you believe in Hashem and you trust in Hashem. U'lefikach zeicha b'sibasa ilachayil. That's why you're zeicha. So it comes out that an exercise for a person to mechazik himself in Amunah Bitochon is to be mazkir, to remind and mention and the nisim v'nifloyas that took place in Yetzias Mitzrayim, where Hashem demonstrated everything He did for us, and our Bitochon Hashem, and that will increase your Amunah. That's how a person davens. That's how you approach tefillah. When you daven, B'toich hazam in Amunah, there's no shayla that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to answer you in that without a shayla. Yeah. Let me tell you, share you with your Maisa. It's a Maisa with Baron Rothschild. What happened was, there was a Maisa, a Yid from Brisk. His name was Rabbi Yisroel Nissenstruck. And he was an Osher Gadol. He was a guy that had a stickle of and he had Torah v'Gdula b'Mokev Echad. And one day, the wheel of fortune turned, and he was Yerid Nechasav, and he lost all his money, and he needed a few thousand rubles to pay back his chayvus, which was a HaRav. He couldn't buy, he needed to buy his chayr in order to get back on his feet a little bit. So he looked for someone who was willing to be Mekayim, the mitzvah of Kesef Talvas HaMisecha. You're going to extend the loan to him. But no one around there was capable of giving, extending, willing, or extending, if possible, capable of extending his loan. So what did he do? He decided he's going to travel to London. Nope. Comes to the famous Baron. Those days, he was living in London, and he wanted to ask him to vakish. Problem is, he didn't have any money to pay for the trip. So he sold off some of his gold and his silver, And he split the money, and he gave half to his wife till he comes back. And he took the other half to him on a trip. And he set out on the trip. The trip took him 3 months to get to that place. After 3 months, he was finally standing on the ground in London. And he starts going to the house of the Baron. And he becomes finster in his eyes. His eyes become mamish choshech. The lines out the door were long like the gulls. It looked in like hundreds of people with him, mamish. And everybody was going through Kibbutz Moran. Everyone one at a time. And there were people who worked for the Baron, not himself. And they gave each guy a half of a golden, or if they liked your story, they gave you a full gold. And he thought, what am I going to do with one zilver? What am I going to do with one gold? I can't start with that. I need thousands. No. He didn't know what to do. So he started going along, and the tears started coming out of his eyes. He couldn't anymore. It came so far in Chip to find out, discover this discovery. The Pkidim that were in charge of giving out the stock over there saw that something over here, this guy wasn't a regular, he didn't look like a regular schnorr on the thing, he was dressed like a man, read this. So he was crying. So they called him out and they said to him, what's it with that? What's this? So he told them the whole story. They said, listen, we just workers here, we can't give you. But on this line, you're never going to get any more value. So I'm going to tell you what to do. Give me an 8. Come back, Erev Shabbos Kodesh, Chatzos Hayom. That's when the Baron comes into the stucco room and he checks how much stucco went out that week. He looks it over. And that time, share with him what's in your heart. Maybe you'll be nice with him. You'll find favor in his eyes and say good. No. She was Erev Shabbos. Yisroel came back at the right time, and the Baron Taka was willing to talk to him, and he felt for Mishtikol. So he told him, you know what, I'd like to extend an invitation to your guest in town. Join me for Shabbos. Oh, it's already warming up the matzah. So he goes to him, and the ganze Shabbos, the ganze Suda, Yisroel was sitting by Shulchan Malachim, and they were sharing Vertelach, he was doing Meisim, it was gewaldig, unbelievable. The Torah, V'chachba, Mesamchem, Mesamif. The pleasure the Baron had of him was so geschmack. In the middle of Shabbos, he told him, gleich nach Shabbos, immediately after Shabbos, come to my house, I have to talk to you. No, Motzei Shabbos Kodesh, he sat down at a table, and Yisroel began to tell him his whole geschichte, how he used to be mamish Eisher Gadol himself. He was considered one of the rich people, and now he became a yored. He told him how he was having the galgo, and he told him he needs mamish thousands of things. He says, I came here because I couldn't get anywhere else. So he said, tell me, at your peak, what was all your nechasim worth? What were you worth at your peak? He told him it was worth 10,000 rubles. Okay. No, the Baron goes into another room, to excuse himself, goes to another room, and he comes out and he gives him this enormous amount, 10,000 rubles. He said, I'm giving this to you, b'matana gemura. You came for halva, I'm giving matana gemura. The guy was that hard attack on the say. Meanwhile, the Baron took his pen out, and he took a piece of paper, and he wrote down his address. He wrote down Baron Rothschild, he wrote his address in London, and he gave him the piece of paper to know his address. So first he was shocked over this sum of money. He was he couldn't. So he started to thank Mom. He says, I appreciate you, Mom. Your kindness, like no those bounds. He said, verstehe nicht. Why'd you write me down your address on a piece of paper? What do you want? You were trying to tell me a hint where I should send the thank you note? Is that what you're looking for? Yeah. She said, no. Nicht das. He said, I said, I see, he said, that Mazel Ra has come to you. And from my experience, I know that when a person has Mazel Ra and he becomes a Yored, their vase, if you won't lose the money, I'm giving you now a second time. You had me at Mazel once, it's getting up my mail a second. So I'm giving you my address. So the next time it happens, you shouldn't have to come and travel for 6 months, 3 months this way, 3 months to do it. Just send me a letter and tell me you're in the same matzav again, and I'll send you nachamo, send Taizer. Yes. That's called Bitochon. He walked out fully batuach. The pasuk says as follows. Tillim in Kufir Aleph, it says, Zeicher Osa L'niflois. Hashem instilled a Zeicher. Hashem made reminders of his niflois that he did. Chanun V'rachum Hashem. So the question is, there's no shaykhs, seemingly, there's no shaykhs from the beginning of the pasuk to the end of the pasuk. What's the pshat? Hashem makes a Zeicher for his niflois, and then it says, but now we understand. You know what HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to his kindlech? Remember the niflois that I did for you when you took out of Mitzrayim. And then the next time you find yourself in the tzara again, you got into one tzara, you're going to have tzaras nachama. Remember the address where you're supposed to turn in the days of your tzara. Daven to me. The chazer over the nefloyas, nacham. But I'm giving you the nefloyas, the zeich. I'm giving you the address of the nefloyas, so you should remember. What happens to most of us is that when something goes wrong, we become mentioned, become broken. We don't know where to start. We don't know how to do. We don't know where to do. Turn. Yes. A mensch has to know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the address. And he wants us to use him as the only address. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to turn to him in all situations. So every morning from now on, try to make your davening a exercise. When you finish this Shemona Esrei, you should feel, Hashem, now I feel batuach. I'm sure you're going to answer me all my requests. I asked you Slach Lanu, I'm sure you're going to answer. I asked you Ata Chayil Adam Das, I'm sure you're going to answer. I asked you Hashiveinu V'nu Seresecha, I'm sure you're going to answer. I asked you Parnasa, I'm sure you're going to answer. Shema Kalein, I'm sure you're going to answer. Sim Shalom, I'm sure you're going to answer. The Toiv Beinecha, Levarech Es Amcha Yisroel Beshalach. The Chol V'chol Shah. Toiv Beinecha, he said. Hashem is good, it's a good man, Hashem. Hashem will Shalom. Hashem wants to make Shalom. Oisha Shalom, B'chayim V'yas Shalom Aleinu. What's the problem? Middle. We don't want. We don't want. Don't pass for me. I should make Shalom. You mean to make Shalom? I have to maybe admit I'm wrong. I have to build machnia myself. I have to do very difficult. If you have two sides sitting across the table, and each side says I'm 100% right. How are you going to make Shalom? How can two people make Shalom if you're not, everyone's not child? Or let's say you have another side that doesn't want to make Shalom. The answer Parsha make Shalom. Say to Hashem, Sim Shalom. Hashem. Aleinu v'al kol Yisroel. Sometimes a person does ma'asim, Hashem lo yosef. A person becomes a person who makes the hepech of Hashem. So the Mida Keneged Mida, Hashem says, you try to make Shalom. So now, you know what's going to come back to you? Shalom is going to come to your life. You brought upheaval to others. No, upheaval comes to visit you. Then it comes to the first person, why did it happen to me? No, you have to think. Now the person says, oh, no, but that person deserved it. Ask yourself this question. What did Hashem want you to do? Oh, I did exactly what Hashem wanted me to do. I'm sure everybody says that. I never met a guy have machlokes tells me I made a mistake. Everybody else, I did 100% the right thing. That's the first position everybody takes. And I say, L'man Hashem, do you think you could maybe move away a little bit from your position? What do you want me to move away from? I hear this my whole life. I've heard this. When I was a kid, two guys were fighting. I used to go, come on, let's make these guys. He's a mama, he's a blah, blah. What's he going to do? What's done with you? Make an offer. Move a little bit off of your comfort zone. Because you can't make peace unless you get two sides. Well, that's why with the Palestinians, Hashem not letting make show. The Israelis keep giving, they keep offering. First they offer them safety. No, they wanted a state, offer you a state. You want Eretz Yisrael, we'll give you half Eretz Yisrael. Okay, we'll give you half. And for any land we take, we'll swap you, we'll give you something else. We'll give you guns, we'll give you, what the vills we'll give you. I said, what do you give you? Garnished. Garnished. We want everything. We want you should disappear from the face of the earth. We want to swallow you up alive. That's what we want. If you put your cells in our whale's mouth and you let us shtuch each one of you, then maybe we'll accept the show. That's a show. That's what happens. But that's what Mensch has to know. This is the exercise, the daily exercise that we do to become shalom, to make shalom, to acquire shalom. And this is the secret to Parnas also. This is the secret. There's the Parshas Haman, and this week also, it's not so as I think it's out. The Parshas Haman is also his upside. Mamish. But you can't say the Parshas Haman in your mouth. You have to be misboining. And you have to understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, all my needs, all my parnasa, everything that I have is coming from you. Which way? Okay, there's all kind of ways. That's what a person has to know. People want to know, how come I don't feel it? I know Hashem giving parnasa. How come I don't feel it? So when know why? I said the Chavetz Chaim was going to came out, and the people in his room, and the people standing there, and he asked. Chazal say everybody tasted. When they ate mun, they tasted whatever time they wanted. Sweet, sour, sweet and sour, vinegar, what a barbecue, what does gavol, no gavol, yeah. Nope. So what happens if a person, Fret the Chavetz Chaim, ate the mun, and he wasn't thinking. He didn't think of any time. What time did it taste like? Natural. See, he said, der was it nicht hereingetragen, if the person wasn't misboining, hat er kein Tam nicht gehabt. It had no taste whatsoever. Yeah. This is Derech HaTorah. In order to take instruction from the Torah, you got to be misboining. If you don't have, it says, Deracheh HaDarchei Noya Mechol Nesir, sweet. Tamaru Kitev Hashem. You got to be misboining. You're not misboining, it's not going to what you call it. It's not going to have any taste for you. That's what a person has to know. And a person knows that. A person has to look forward. Says, here's a person learning Gemara. You know what he says about this? It says, one guy looks at taste, he says, oh no, forget this one. This is going to be very bad taste in my mouth. Learning this taste. You know what happened? Take it this. There's another guy who says, you know what? This taste is going to be so geschmack. So geschmack. Yeah, schwer. I'm going to break it. I'm going to break it down, little pieces. Nibble at it. Nurture myself, feed myself little pieces. You know what's going to happen? Is that good? That's going to be good. And it is. And every Gemara is like that. Nope. The person knows that. If a person works on himself, then the person will have hana, and the person is going to have, he's going to acquire in a very short time, emunah bitochon. All you have to do is be mechaven in that bracha Ezra Sabi Seder. When you say the last 10 psukim in Hoidu, be mechaven with all your keiches for those 10 psukim. Mark for yourself every pasuk of Bitochon in Psukim Dizim. Add a sinner where every line was underlined, if what you everyone. If you just, quite a few of them, you just start from, we'll start from after Kabbalah. Kabbalah says the 3 psukim of Bitochon. And that, so I was talking after Mizmor Shir. The person I know the list, psukim, starting from Hashem HaYeshua Lamcho V'Chasecha Sela to the end of Hoidu are all psukim of Festa Bitochon. That's time. Mizmor L'Soida, Festa Bitochon. Hashem Hu Elikim, Hu Asanu, V'Lo Yanachnu, Hamav V'Tzamarisa. Unbelievable. Then you have in Ashrei, full of psukim yet. Seimach Hashem l'chol ha'neiflim. You have Ein Yichalach Yisaberu, Pesach Yishadecha, Karam Hashem l'chol Kairo, Chashuk V'me'emes. Go through all these psukim, man. You can say, Al Tiftechu B'Nivim. What are you talking about? Every second pasuk is a pasuk. You don't need to say from the Bitochon. You don't have to create anywhere else. Right there, go through a siddur and underline each pasuk in your siddur. And work on it. And you finally get to what you call get to the Rayavarach David, and you think, I'm going to L'cha Hashem HaGedula v'Ha'Gevura v'Tiferes v'Ha'Netzach L'cha Hashem alles is nice. V'Osher v'Ha'Kavod l'Fanecha u'Biyodecha Koyach u'Gevura u'Biyodecha v'Gadel u'Chazik ha'Koyach. That's why the minute the Rizal said this is the minute we get stuck. Yisroel Hashem have a munah. You part with your money over there. Hashem, I trust. It's a good investment because you know why? That's what he said. And you say, Hashem, you're all alone. Unbelievable. There's no, this is all avoid the Bitochon, emunah, Bitochon. The person does that. And the person doesn't get Bitochon, it's a simon, the guy wasn't present at that. The guy wasn't present, the guy didn't daven, he was fashlofen. What a tragedy, what an easy way the Chazal prepared us to acquire Bitochon in our lives in the moment. And that's kol tuv.